Today I'm going to share with you a little bit of piddling around that I did a few months ago, and although I haven't been doing many videos, I occasionally would grab 30 minutes here and there and I would come play in my art room. And one of the things I wanted to do was play with some of the fabric swatches that I got from an upholstery store, and this is what they look like. They're just squares. This came from the Shade Store, and they're free samples that they sent me, and I have quite a few of them, so I wanted to play with these pieces of fabric. And so what I did was I sat down one day and I just started cutting out hearts, and I made it several projects with the hearts after I cut them out, and so I thought I'd share those with you today, and then I thought I would make another video showing you how to make the different projects that I made. Although by looking at this, you can see how very simple it is and easy, and most of you will probably be able to just make it from seeing the picture. But for those of you who like to see the process, I'm going to do the process videos for you. Okay, so the first thing I started off with was just taking these fabric swatches, like I said, and I just cut them. And I'll show you in this video how I cut them to start making my heart so that you can start making yours if you have some fabric swatches that you can use, or if you have fabric in your stash, or just scraps, or whatever you have. You don't have to have these. They just are convenient for me to use, but you can use any kind of fabric you want, and you can use paper too. So the first thing I started doing was cutting out hearts, and the first project I did after I cut out the hearts was these little hearts here. And I'll just show you real quick the different ones. I used different trims and laces and flowers and buttons and what else? Just different things that I wanted to use up. And let's see, there's another little batch here. Won't take a lot of time on this. I love this. This is mainly just lace and a heart on there. Most of them have 2 or 3 hearts. Some brads. I used some brads. Okay. And this one is paper. So like I said, you can use paper. And then I had some little square samples that were sent to me, and so I liked the shape, so I took my pinking shears, made a template, and then I just cut out my own squares and then created these. And there's a circle in here. Doesn't have to be hearts, it could be just squares and circles. Okay, so then after I played with that, I made a little tag using up some tags. I've got some more over there, and I'll probably make some with you guys. Using up some tags that I had and some phrases and words that I've got. That's a brad. And then I went on to make some little books. And, well, first I'll show you this. This is another tag. See, a little manila tag you can get at the office supply store, or make your own. Just cut out a shape. This is wood. It's a wood ATC size. I liked that structure, so I used one of those. And then I used, for this one, this is old packaging. I don't know if you recognize it or not, but this came from old packaging that flowers came in, I think. And this is a sticker, and this is a little charm, and the hearts are on here, and this was on the packaging. This is how the packaging came. I didn't do anything here, and I put this on, and this is one of those little clips from a long time ago. I don't know if you recognize those or not. And I just made little booklets. See, packaging. And this is paper that I had in my stash. So I just made a little booklet. And this one is made with index cards. The cover is an index card. It's a index card that I made. I have a video for it, and it just shows you how to use up extra paint that you've got. And here's an example of what they look like. See, index cards. I don't know if you see the lines. There you go. And I just took these and I just folded them and made little book covers. And I used some paper in my stash for the center and ribbon to close it. Index card line. You can journal on here, cover it up, and then the papers from my stash. Just little these were the size they were, so I just used them as they are. And this one here is the same thing, another index card. And I put hearts on the front. Just glued them on. And on the back, yeah, a little tag on the back with a butterfly. A little sticker on the back and a brad. Okay. And then I went further and I created this little canvas. You can see it's a canvas. I just put scrap papers and a heart and added some charms and chain. And then the last thing that I did with these hearts, here's another tag, is I have these buttons, and let me get one and I'll show you real quick. Let me go grab one. Okay, I have these cards with buttons on them that Mr. Victor Crafter sent me. So thank you again, Victor, because I've had these a long time and I've been wanting to use them really bad, and I just couldn't figure out how I wanted to use them, but I finally figured out a way that I could use a lot of them. But all you need to do if you want to make this is either have buttons that are already on a card like you buy at the store, or take a piece of cardstock or pattern paper or something and then just get a bunch of buttons and just stitch them on. Okay, so that's what I used, and these are not cut evenly, and that made it all more beautiful to me. I love the character. So what I did was I took them, this is one, and I just added hearts on top and made a little tag out of them, put a hole, and you could leave the hole off. You don't have to have the hole, but I just love how the button card looks below the heart. I think it's really, really cute. So I made a bunch of those, and I'm going to make more, and I'll make one with you guys. And then make cute little tags for a gift, or you could put it in your journal or hang it from a journal, or you could make it like an actual charm or something that you hang on something. I don't know, just lots of different ways you could use it. Okay, so, and actually I even thought about taking one of these that has the buttons on the back and using it on a canvas like that instead of just the heart, but I went with scrap paper on this one. I may make one with the button card to put on the canvas. So these are really cute. They're just so fun. Everything I made here was so fun to do. So that's the main thing I was working on just over the last few. I started these, gosh, back before Christmas, I think. And see what else. The other thing I was working on, I'll show you, and I'm not going to do any of this in the video today, but I'm going to share it with you since I'm sharing this, is if you remember the Junk Your Stuff journals, and if you don't know what those are, there's a video for that. It's called Junk Your Stuff. And I think it's a playlist also. And when I made the paper bag journal, I had all these leftover paper bag pieces because I cut the bottoms and sides off. So this is once part of a paper bag. So, and I told you I'd be making some things out of these squares. And so a long time ago, this is like over a year ago or so, I did make something with them. And I shared it with you in a quick share video, but I never showed you how I made them. And I do still plan on showing you. And I'm not going to take them all apart, but I did make these little dolls. And these are all made using just these squares and some fabric. So, I'll show you there. They're really cute. But I never showed you how to do them. And what I love about these is the way their faces pucker. It's like it gives them attitude. I just think they're so cute. They all have a different attitude. So that's one thing I made with those squares. And eventually I'll do a video showing you how. But the other thing I've been doing with them, and here's just a few of them, is I just made these little envelopes. They are the perfect size for a tag. So you could put 1 or 2 or 3, however many you want in there, and just mail it off to somebody. I just took the bag and I made a little envelope pocket, and I will show you how I did that. And I just added scraps on the back. I mean, just scraps on the front, some stamping, and scraps on the front. This strip of scrap. And this one has a little butterfly, a little strip of scrap, and I scribbled on it in a little word phrase, and then that back's a scrap. And this one here has a sticker on the front. Oops. And I love this one, a little bird. Do something nice for someone else. I thought that was appropriate for a little envelope that you might mail out to somebody. So those are made using these two. All right, I'm going to clear this off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my fabric and I'm going to show you how I cut my hearts out so that you can get started making some hearts if you want to, and then when it's time to do some projects you can play along with me, or you can take this and just run with it. You can see what you've got in front of you here and just go with it and use your own imagination, whatever you want to do. I'm happy to have you play along with me though. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay. Let's cut some hearts. They're super easy. Y'all know how to cut hearts. I'm just showing you how simple I make it. I don't have to make a template. I don't care about size. I love variations of shapes. I like oblong, longer ones. I like short, squatty ones. I like little ones. So I just basically play it by ear, and whatever feels good I do. And I just picked out a few here that I could maybe make a trio of hearts from. Let's start with this one. And what I do is I just choose 2 or 3 fabrics, and I decide which one I want to be if I'm going to layer my hearts, I figure out which one I want to be the back heart, the background, and then I just make that heart bigger, and then I cut smaller from there. Or you could just sit down with your fabric and just cut a bunch of big ones, a bunch of medium ones, a bunch of little ones, a bunch of tiny ones, and then go back and pick and choose and build your little layers from there. So either way works, but I think on this one I'll choose, make this one the back. So I just fold my fabric just enough to get me the size heart I want, and if I want it bigger I make it a little wider and I cut a little longer. And I kind of want this on the biggish side, so I just start a little bit halfway, just whatever, you know, doesn't matter. If I mess up and don't make it the size I want, I'll just make another heart. And I just go around and cut it out. And there you go. So if it's too big, I'll cut it down. If it's too small, I'll make another heart. And then I think I'll make this one the next size. And so because this one's so big, I don't want this one quite as big, so I'll fold it a little less wide. And I'll just start cutting. Let's see what we've got. That's pretty good. And then I want a little one. So fold less and cut smaller. Scissors aren't fabric scissors, they're gunky scissors, but that's okay. Then you have your 3 hearts. Okay, so in these, I think what I'll do, I think I'll make this the background. And I'm going to make this one a long skinny heart. This one's kind of fat and squatty. And I'll fold it about the length, well, the width I want. And then I'm going to start down at the bottom and I'm going to cut as wide as I want and keep going up and up and up and up and up, up and over, and then kind of come back down to make my heart shape. Now if I want this narrower, I just trim it off, but this will work. I think it'll be fine. And let's go with this one next. Same thing. This has a lot of white down here and up here, so I'm going to cut in the middle here. Okay, so there's those. And you can just make little hearts. Let's just cut out a couple more. There you go. So you can see you can make variations of the sizes that you want. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I'm going to put this up as a part 1, and if you're interested in the projects, I'll be doing some of those, and then we'll make those in different parts too, so I can keep the videos shorter and have the time to do them. Alright, so I hope you guys will cut out some hearts. If you want to, make circles, make squares, whatever you want to do, and get ready, get a bunch of piles ready to go, and when you come back here with me on the next part, we can make a couple of projects together. Alright, I'll see you later. See you in part 2.